What's up, party people? Happy Saturday. Welcome back to Saturday Garage. This is where I say thank you to the 6,500-ish of you at the time of recording who have decided to subscribe to this channel. I appreciate the hell out of it, and I'm very encouraged by it. If you're new here, please join along. Enough rigmarole. This is the story of a 73 El Camino, affectionately referred to as El Cochino from its time on Roadkill Garage. It is a 73 SS 454 factory 4-speed numbers matching car. Pre-smog, mind you. It is a very good car and one that David Freiburger and I bought in tandem from MotoTrend when everything was closing down. It is a car they had in Roadkill Garage. They did a little bit of a dingle ball rebuild on it. They fogged it black and enjoyed it. It's a really good driving car. So on Thursday, David's going to be putting out a video on his channel that is going to be the for sale video for this car. We're going to test drive it. We're going to run it all around town. We're going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, which there's not very much of, and you can get all of the details, including a purchase price and a how to buy instructions right there on youtube.com/thedavidfreiburger. This video here is going to be the chronicles of my $0 improvements made to this car. It's really good already, and there's just a bunch of loose ends that need tying up. So I'm gonna go sit down, I'm gonna walk you through that, and we are going to enjoy our Saturday together. What's up, friends? Welcome back and happy Saturday. You already know that this is going to be a video about me getting El Cochino ready for sale. But this is all what you can do to make a car a little bit better for really not much money, like zero money. A little bit of backstory is this. El Cochino is a car that was on Roadkill Garage. On the show, they painted it, rebuilt the motor. It is snappy, it is tight, it is a good, fun motor. I've had a Chevelle since high school. It's a small block Chevelle, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I've always wanted to be a big block. I've always wanted a big block and a 6-speed rather than the small block overdrive combo that's currently in it. So my plan in putting my name on the list to buy El Cochino from MotoTrend was to rob that big block out of it, sell off the rest of it, and put that big block in my Chevelle. That was a great plan until I found out that Freiburger also had designs on El Cochino. Now the problem with that is this. David Freiburger started the entire MotoTrend video thing. If he hadn't, I never would have gotten to have a job there and have the best 7 years of my professional life at MotoTrend. So I have this like insane amount of deference. If Freiburger wants to buy the car, it's his, he gets dibs. He started so many jobs for so many people that had so much fun for so many years. He clearly deserves it. Anyway, I got a call from MotoTrend one day. They're saying, hey, your name's on this El Camino. There's only you and Freiburger on the list. Do you want it? I immediately call Freiburger. I say, hey, what's your deal with this El Camino? His intention is purely to flip it. My intention is to rob its heart out. So neither of us are particularly noble in our desire to buy this car, but we come to an agreement that rather than compete with one another and drive the price up, we're just gonna join forces, do this thing together, and we're still gonna flip it. I'm not gonna rob the motor out of it, but we can then, by joining forces, get a better number for MotoTrend. So we come to that agreement. I call MotoTrend back, I lowball them, and they take it. I also told them that Freiburger and I were going to be splitting it, so like do two homies a favor and give us a little bit of a better deal. They cut the deal, they were happy to do it. Fast forward a few months. I register it, I put it in my name. We finally have to go down and pick up this car from MotoTrend because I have eked every bit of free storage out of this warehouse that I can. It's been, I want to say 3 months, almost 3 months since I had last worked there, that the car was still there. They were days away from handing the keys back to the landlord, and I just had to get the car. It was one of the last cars in there. So Freiburger and I set a date just a few days before MotoTrend hands the keys back. He comes down to the battery, I come down to the couple of GoPros, and we expect to just drive it right home. And effectively we did, with the exception of the following. Put a battery in, and it's the wrong polarity, so we have to jam a bunch of magazines in between the positive terminal and the body so it doesn't ground out.
How many old Aero Performance magazines does it take?
It's a sad state of somebody's hard work.
Yep.
No big deal, fine. Start the car. Finally starts, that's good, we like that. not ideal. Ready to drive away, but the alternator isn't charging. Do I need to go into this level of detail? Probably not, but I'm going to because I have the footage to cover it. So we run up to my shop. It's a little spot that I rent from Lucky, and I have an alternator sitting on a shelf there. Head back, throw it in. Cool. Car's great.
I was over there working on another car. Mikey P installed the brand new alternator that we went and swiped out of his storage unit. We're gonna find out if it charges. Ready? Yes. 14.4. Great. 14 and a half.
Right. Cool. Car's great. So this is like my first real opportunity to drive the car. I've moved it around the warehouse a little bit in the month previous. But Freiburger warned me that I'm not going to want to give this car up once I actually get behind the wheel of it. And like, legitimately, that was a very fair warning. It is a fun car to drive. It's got power everywhere. It's a 4-speed. So we get home and we have no plan, nothing to do with it. I just know that if Freiburger is making a video to sell this thing eventually, and I'm toying around with doing this YouTube thing, I now have a deadline. I need to have something up, i.e. this video, by the time that his goes live, or I'm wasting opportunity. So here we are. This is my $0 approach to making a car better and increasing your sale price. Now, how are we gonna know if I increase the sale price? We're not. We're gonna set a price. We're gonna sell for that number. But I do believe that Freiburger's response upon seeing this enspiffment, I'll call it, that I'm gonna do to the car, I think will give me a pretty good sense as to whether or not it was time wasted or time well spent. So requirement number one for me trying to get top dollar out of selling a car is, does it start, does it stop, does it steer? Those three things make it a real car. Maybe you can only move it up and down the driveway, but that's enough for somebody to have a functional project that's not going to be in their way. This El Camino does all of those things really well already. So, number two, this has a window that does not go up. The passenger side is stuck in the down position. You can wrench on it, you can kind of feel the whole door flexing. It's not a good situation.
It's straight up bulging out there.
Ain't right. Tain't right. My assumption here is that it's a window regulator, and I think I assume that because I hate changing window regulators. So suck it up, grab some tools, pull a window regulator, just in time for me to notice that I never had to pull that window regulator. There's a channel on the bottom of the glass, and there is a stop bracket on the inside of the door panel that they're supposed to sit like this, limits it down. It had somehow gotten underneath it and gotten stuck underneath it. This, can you see this? Yes, that guy right there. That is stuck inside of this track, and that's what's preventing the window from going up. In there, okay. All right, that's it. That's all it took. Ta-da! Stupid. Hey, girl. Guys, this is Penny. Little Penelope. She's a foster dog too. If you want to take her, you can have her. But she won't give you kisses because she has no tongue. She'll go like this. That's about it. Hi. Hi, hi. Hi, hi. Say hi. Say hi to the people. Oh, she likes to be in the El Camino. Okay, real quick point of clarification on this Penny the dog thing. I don't know if you could hear me that well. She is a foster, she is available, she's very sweet and very cute. She has no tongue. We don't know why, we don't know how, but she has no tongue. It's very sad. You have to take her dry dog food and powder it, and then wet it, and then form it into balls and plonk it down her throat. She has a full-time foster that is a saint and does that every single morning and every single night. She's gonna be a tough adopt. But if you've got like a ranch or a farm or someplace that is just generally kind of like okay with outdoor mess, like it just sort of gets eaten by squirrels and stuff, yeah, hit up Wishbone Rescue. They're the ones who are placing her. So that's all. Back to automotive programming now. Okay, bye. Go ahead, get out of here. Skedaddle. Thanks. Didn't have to pull the regulator, didn't have to get cuts or grease all over my hands. In fairness, it was a very simple fix.
Classic win.
And the window now works
Classic.
remarkably well.
Ooh.
All right, well that sounds awful. Put a regulator back together, throw a couple of door panels on. That is one less thing in the bed, and that is one more piece of completed interior. It's starting to look a little bit better. Now, tip number 3 for getting top dollar out of selling a car is take any parts that belong on the car that are not currently on the car and put them on the car. Seems simple, but the amount of stuff just laying in the bed that belongs in this El Camino is it's large. We've got door panels, we've got lens bezels, we've got gauges, there's a fire extinguisher rolling around, there's glove box door, there's a heater core, there's an entire underdash AC unit, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it can actually go on the car. So very simply, very, very simply, I threw a polish on a lens bezel. I threw that in. I put the missing fuel and temp gauges that were floating around the back in their place. Look, way better. It is a much more complete driver experience to see an array of gauges. None of them work except for the speedo, but to have them there feels a little bit better, feels a little bit more polished. Improvement. What else did I do? There's a glove box door that was missing. The hinge had sheared off of the door. Not ideal, but it's nothing that a little bit of gaff tape can't fix. Put it right back together, mount it on, closes, completes the face of the dash. Much better.
Oh, so much better. Light years better. Like nearly complete. Maybe a little ashtray door would be nice. And a radio would be nice, but like, boy, what a completion. What a partial completion. What a work in progress.
Total running tally at this point cost-wise is a nickel's worth of lens polish and a dime's worth of gaff tape. So far, that's good budget. Seatbelts, there's not a seatbelt in the damn thing. The holes are tarred over, and the seatbelt selection that was in the bed of the truck leaves a lot to be desired. Not doing seatbelts, that one's on you. What else cleaned up in the interior? Oh, okay, dash is looking quite a bit better with a lens in place and the 2 missing gauges actually in their homes. None of these gauges work, except for speedo, I want to say. Speedo does work. There is no tach, there is no gas gauge, there is no temp gauge, there is no oil gauge, there is no amp meter. All those things are there, none of them work because they're not hooked up. They're not hooked up because they're all being read by this Holley Sniper EFI touch display. That will list everything except for the oil pressure, which, whatever. Now, it's mounted up here with Velcro on the dash currently, which is not great for visibility, not really awesome. So I'm going to remount that. That's going to make it much more street friendly. And then I'm going to make it much more race friendly by mounting this super sweet fire extinguisher instead of rolling around in here. So 2 very free and cheap upgrades that will, I think, aside from putting the door panels back on, complete my interior renovation for the El Camino. So while some people call it chipboard, I'm going to call it a tinfoil box. I'm going to use that just to make a little bit of a template of the round shape of this gauge cutout. I'm going to try to build a bit of a cone to the shape of this relief for the gauge inside of this gauge cluster. The hope is that if I can get something to match that round shape, it will locate this bracket that is going to hold the sniper panel. It will locate it there, but then I'm just going to use the bezel screw holes to actually hold it into place. So much better than a rigid cardboard is a much flexibler tape. Just a very compound curve in there. Very compound. So here's the sauce too. Your regular hand snippers, yellow is straight. Green means that they will turn to the right as you're cutting. And red means they will turn to the left while you're cutting. All right, now to form that into a round, we're gonna go to the bench. So gross. Well, I think it'll hold. Let's fill up this a bit more just for fun and risk burning it through, because why stop when it's good enough-ish? It is truly grotesque. Like, that looks terrible, but it'll do the job. If I had any pride in this, I would do it again. But I don't. This is, ugh. Honestly, it's embarrassing. Well, that's what happens when you rush through things. Or like, just don't give the care that, look at the care it deserves. It doesn't matter. It deserves no care. Good. So the huge bummer, not that big of a bummer, being dramatic, but the dumb bummer in this little panel that I've made here to support
as a mount for our sniper dash handheld unit, is that I was trying to avoid it being stuck to the dash with Velcro. I've now come to realize that I'm still gonna have to stick it to the dash with Velcro, except I'm sticking it to a flat panel that is actually screwed to the dash. It should stick better to this flat panel that is screwed in than to this textured piece. And it's gonna be a much better position anyway. It's still a giant win, but it's really dumb that I spent so many hours making this very crude and poorly welded panel just to have to Velcro it anyway. Fact of the matter is I could adhere it, which was the original plan. The original plan was to adhere this back that holds the little handheld device right here. But then I realized, because I'm a big serviceability guy, for serviceability, you won't get to that screw, and you'll definitely not get to that screw without having to pry this off, probably bending the panel, probably breaking the dash. So disappointment in Velcro aside, I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna pop this panel here, I'm gonna put some double-sided adhesive Velcro here, pop this here. It's still gonna be Velcroed on, but it's gonna look a lot better. You're gonna have a lot easier visual access to your gauges. Boom, boom, racing, tack, boom, boom, oil pressure. Oh wait, there's no oil pressure. It'll be great, it'll be fine. Take that back, it won't be fine. It will be excellent. It'll be a perfectly great solution. Boom. Something like that. That's actually way better. You can actually see things. You got a water temp, you got a tack, you got... Hell, you can tune on the fly if you need to. Actually very happy with that. That's pretty good.
The only other thing that really bugs me in the interior, other than the seats that are mounted about 2 inches inboard of the steering wheel centerline, the lack of carpet, the tarred floor, the lack of seat belts, and the cracked dash, is this fire extinguisher that's just rolling around on the floor. I like a fire extinguisher. I think it's good to have. In a car that I don't really know or trust yet, I think it's great to have. So there is no console. I think there must have been a console in this car at some point. I don't really know, but there are a couple of holes in the support brackets that are either just cross members, floor cross members, or maybe they were a console mount. I'm really honestly not sure. Now what we really need to do here is measure the distance of these holes in what I assume was the old console mounting holes or something of the sort. I'm getting 3 1/4. 3 1/4. What I need to do in order to get this guy down here, super race car style, I mean inarguably race car, it'll bolt into place. You have a quick release, put out that massive fire from all the nitrous you were spraying, and you're good to go. So off of the center of this front hole, we're going to call it here. Now the plan is going to use a riv nut, nutsert in here and in here, and then just bolt this dude right in. It'll be a nice secure bracket that our fire extinguisher can live in, and everybody's a race car driver. BRB. Ow. Everybody's fine. Everybody's fine. Just did what I knew it would do, and it caught. It's gonna do it again right now. Let's all just calm down and maybe put on a glove. Maybe put on a glove. All right, let's go. All right, so now, got a riv nut kit, appropriately sized holes for our other holes. Now, the fun part is this. I learned about this a few years ago, and honestly, it just brings me a great deal of joy. You get to put a nut in a permanent spot where there was not a nut before. You get to just use a bolt to install it. Install whatever you're installing. It's fantastic. So I'm using a 5/16 riv nut, as it is called. It is a rivet that is also a nut. Pretty clever, huh? Nut inside, rivet on the outside. Open, install, place, squeeze, remove, and you've got a nut inserted where you want it. Show you this again. Make sure everybody can see. You've got your little collar here. It's threaded. Your riv nut goes on. You're going to spread wide to get it all the way down there. Insert it into your hole. Squeeze your handles together. Release them. And then with this knob, you unthread out of the riv nut. And then I go find two 5/16 bolts that I should have done already, and I install my bracket. There we go. Bing, bang, crash. Oh, I did it backwards. What do I want here? Who cares? Ah, safety. Ugh. Beautiful. Does feel like it's backwards now, though. I don't care. Somebody else can change it. All right, that's good. Calling that good. Hooray. Done. Does feel much racier, though, actually. Like, quite a bit racier. Tip 4, or tip 5, I don't remember where we're at. Clean up the engine bay just a little bit, just a hair. A couple of fatal flaws in this engine compartment are an unused bright orange overflow tank and an oil pressure gauge that is just kind of haphazardly zip tied to something somewhere. It is the only oil gauge that is in the car, so unfortunately, I didn't want to move it. I didn't want to relocate it inside either, because to have a single aftermarket gauge down there, annoying and ugly, and will ruin all of the beauty that I just put into this interior. So the oil gauge is going to continue to live in the engine bay. I tucked it away nicely and neatly in a pod underneath the core support, so at least it's visually a little bit less distracting. Now, controversial, I know, but I did opt to leave the train horns in the car. Now, I am not a train horn guy. No judgment if you are, except grow up. It does seem like the right kind of car for train horns. It just does. It's sort of like Cadillac-ness in its hugeness. I could very much see this El Camino with a set of steer horns on the front of it, and in which case, train horns really just kind of fit the bill. I don't know if the pump still exists underneath the bed floor because the fuel cell is covering it. I'm going to hope that it does. I see some lines running the frame rail still, so I decided to leave those just in case you're a train horn guy. What else did I do in there? Oh, I put a proper battery hold down in. I got rid of those old Super Camaro magazines or whatever those were. Maybe a couple other small things. I don't know. Give it a look and decide how much you like it. I think you're going to like it a lot. So tip 6 is going to be go drive the car and make sure it still runs and drives as well as it did before you started fiddling with it. I'm going to go take a test drive about 40 minutes away to go pick up a motor for this 65 Beetle that's been sitting next to it this whole time. That Beetle has a bad motor. It's been a bit of a theme lately. I ruined this one too, but I found a very direct swap, 1300cc, single port, no big deal, stock replacement motor from a dude who was selling it on offer up for $200. I'm not passing up that deal. So I'm hopping on the El Camino because it is a truck after all. I'm going to run down, I'm going to pick this thing up, and I'm going to make sure that everything that I did is going to stand the muster of a test drive. So this is the part where I run some VO over the test drive that had really, really bad audio quality. I say a bunch of stuff like this. Oh man, what an amazing car this is. It's got so much power. Boy, this interior sure looks great. I just wish this Holley Sniper dash panel gauge thing wasn't melting off of the dash. Why does it smell like raw fuel in here? Man, everybody thinks I'm so cool. If I didn't own it already, I'd pay like $40,000 for this car. Blah, 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 yakety schmackety. I'm so tired of hearing myself talk. So there are two things that I really want to address before I go meet Freiburger again to get this thing sold, and before it goes on to its eventual owner. I am putting some work into this thing. I would like for it to be reasonably acceptable work. On the Sniper 2 display, the adhesive Velcro that I'm still using, though it's in a better position, is still melting in the heat, and it's not even that hot, it's like 80 degrees. It's melting worse than it was when it was attached to the textured dash. So I'm gonna solve that actually really simply. I need to tack something inside of the hole where it rests into the gauge pod. I need to tack something inside of there that I can riv nut. I'm gonna screw through the little plastic mount that the gauge actually slides into. I'm gonna screw that in to keep it solid and secure in its place, and then just rely on the Velcro to keep it from rotating and moving around on that position.
Boom!
Easy done. Second problem that is honestly a really easy fix is that the vent on the fuel cell just spills fuel. If you fill it up, you're losing some amount of gallons that stinks and is a waste of money. So I'm going to use $1 worth of 3/8 fuel hose, create a little loop-de-loop pigtail, zip tie that in place, attach it to the vent, and that is going to keep the fuel in the cell where it belongs. And the last piece of advice that I'm going to give you is go wash the car. I am not going to follow my own advice because frankly it's been raining a little bit and I don't like washing cars, it's boring. But that really wraps up my chronicles on the enspiffment of El Cochino. If you want to see how this ends, you need to go over to youtube.com/TheDavidFreiburger. On Thursday, he's going to be posting a video that is our driving review for sale video of this car. You're going to see the good, you're going to see the bad, you're going to see the really ugly. There's not very much really ugly. All the details, including a purchase price on how you can make this El Cochino your own. So head over there, youtube.com/TheDavidFreiburger. On Thursday, his video is dropping. So that's it for now. Please come back next Saturday. We're going to either be getting into bug stuff or C10 stuff. I'm not honestly sure which just yet. But like and subscribe, share, do all of those things. And if you turn on your notifications, you'll get alerted anytime I drop something new. Hey, it's Duncan. Everybody say hi to Duncan. Wait! Yeah! He's not light. But, he is a hugger. That's it. We'll see you guys next time. Oh, yes, buddy. But he's a nice boy. He's a real nice boy. Yeah. Duncan the dog. Mm-hmm.